Good to go. Sorry about that. Right, we will have audio now. That was one issue we did just have, but Jay James and a few people. So the first bit of it has no audio. Hopefully, in a second, the audio will catch up. Sorry about that. Yep, good to go. Right, so we missed the first bit. Not unusual for me, but we had a few other things going on behind the scenes. But welcome everyone. Hopefully you've had a great week in harness racing. It's only been 6 days. Plenty to talk about. Yeah, really big show. Just give me 1 sec. I'll be back in 1 sec. This is very well organised tonight. But I am back. I just left my cheat sheet over there. I had a running sheet of everything that we had to go through tonight. And I wanted to make sure that I got the message out there for all my sponsors and supporters. Plus what's been a pretty big day of harness racing. Unorganised. Been a big week because we had the running of the Tasmanian Championship Cup. We had Brad Hewitt's announcements. We've got plenty going on with Cambridge and the slot announcements as well. Very sad week for harness racing people. I think most people would agree with the passing of Hunter Myers. Very sad, tragic that someone in our sport, especially someone so young, can be taken in a crash, and it's probably a fair reminder for everyone about the industry we're in. And make sure you enjoy it. Get out there and enjoy your life that we're able to live, because yeah, sad scenes, beautifully covered I think over there by a lot of the people in America. They've done a brilliant job. There was some hit home, I think. A few of the things you were able to see. If you weren't able to see it, you can go to the Meadowlands. Chris Godden, another person that's been putting out some great stuff. So yeah, pretty heartfelt week. And yeah, I think anyone that's out there driving right now, driving home, Brad Hewitt, I know it's a pretty tricky road to get home from Bathurst, and the service can be poor as well. So just be aware, look after each other, both on the track and off the track, because it can be a very trying sport from time to time. But yeah, our condolences with the entire family there, with the of the Myers family. It's just terrible. You only had a young family. Definitely didn't know the person, but yeah, very sad for a lot of people involved. So yeah, but don't forget. Yep, if you know how this show works, if you're watching, if you want to get your message out there, please feel free. Send a message in one way or the other. Jay James, hello to you. Sharon Pullen. But yeah, please get involved in the show via the messages, and they will pop up there on the left hand side. I will be catching up with David Branch in a minute, but I said there before, we've got some few newsworthy things to get through as well from a harness racing point of view here in Australia, actually, I suppose, as much as anything else. We can probably go to this computer. I've got computers open everywhere here. You can see by my mouse. I don't know why. Anyway, won't matter. I seem to have more of the fields up and about, but because the weekend, Saturday night actually was just an amazing night of harness racing. I don't know if anyone was able to watch Hobart, but the Tasmanian Cup was an amazing spectacle. Standing start race. It was on for young and old. Let's see if we can't get it up. We can show a little bit of it. It was on for young and old, and yeah, they battle all the way to the line. Sorry, just bear with me as we go through here. Anyone that's watching knows how this show does run, but it was a bit confusing because there was two cup finals in a row, so we need to do something about that going forward. I think if you're going to have a country cup or the like, we need to just probably break it up, not have it straight after or straight before the actual cup itself. Now this will go. I'll get the start of this when it does click in. Horses were going everywhere, and it was a little bit schmozzledy. This is one of the problems with stands. Do love stands, but as you can see here, if you're a punter, if you're naive to the industry, Ever Justice, that's the second time she's gone around. Looks like she's way too far in advance there on the second line, but and then when they go to a couple of those horses were going backwards, and then yeah, it's just absolute chaos. Two sides to it. It is a great spectacle from our point of view. Horses going everywhere, gives horses every chance. The flip side of that is it's bad if you're a punter and you've got no idea where you are. Mickey O, I think, was a horse that was caught 3 and 4 deep for a long period of that race. So yeah, can't scrub forward as easy on this going from there, but yeah, it was a terrific race. can't show you that much because I can only show about 400 metres of it, and I don't want to upset anyone. I want to be able to. Andrea O'Gorman, hello to you. Got a few other people on there. I'll get David Branch in a minute. But yeah, I can only show about 300-400 metres of the last races. Otherwise, I can get into trouble, and I don't want to be doing that. But George Street, I had the gentleman with George Street was tuned in last week actually on one of my shows. So congratulations to him. He would be very, very happy. But here we have the runners just getting to the top of the lane here with about 200 metres to go. And I can't think of who the horse was in front. Just a Tiger, I think it was. No, it had to be My Dad Said. The second horse, yeah. Stablemates fighting the race out. George Street and My Dad Said. But Arg for David Miles up the fence. But yeah, really, really tough race. Good race to watch. Go and watch that later on. Hello to you, Dottie G. Been a while since you've been on. I've been chopping and changing days, but we're going to go back to the Monday. I'll be back next Monday night, all going well as well. But yeah, well done to Tasmania. I was fortunate enough to be over there and enjoy the day, or the couple of days prior to it. So great club, doing plenty. Geez, there's a couple of horses having trouble pulling up after the race too. I think that's Toddy Rattray. It is too. He's having all sorts of trouble there. Didn't see that. Watch the rundown. There's plenty happening there in that race. We had Great Fields racing on Saturday night at Melton. For a start, we'll look after the Victorians with the running of the Melton Plate as we get there. Nathan, thank you. George was well, maybe it's the same person. Thanks, Pauls. We're still on a massive high after the Tassie Code, up onwards and upwards. Hopefully I get to meet you and George next time, Nathan, and thank you very much for tuning in as well. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I think it was George last week, but you both might be on the same Facebook page. But yeah, thank you very much for joining in. It was a great night of racing at Hobart too. Some really good results over there for people going forward. We had the running of the Melton Plate, of course, won by the Narcissist, Greg Sugars. I actually did interview Greg Sugars and the next race as well. No, I did get that one. Bulletproof Boy, Scotty Ewing. But unfortunately, I had an audio issue with both. They cut out halfway through, so there wasn't enough there to get. But Best Deal, second, making it a 1-2 for Emma Stewart. And Louis Luai coming in third. And I know Chris Finozio and the camp there were very, very happy with the results of that horse there. So he was a terrific smoking ace in fourth. So yeah, wasn't that far away. But this was one of the races I will be highlighting with I'm Ready Jet beating Elderbaron and Crew, the American bred mare, which is quite interesting because interviewing Duncan McPherson, and he said there about Elderbaron and Crew has been an American bred mare, so bred to run a mile and runs over 2,760 metres. Michael Bellman, hello to you. I think it's your mum's birthday today, Mickey, so wish her a happy birthday. Ebony's Avenger, and then Queen Alida was terrific as well. Running in fourth, she did a fair bit of work, and I'll show the last 400 metres of that. But of course, this mare now is heading across to the Tab Trot. It was a very dominant win here on this occasion. She looks like she's got a little bit more sensible, this mare, but by all accounts, she can still be a little bit of a handful back at the stalls. But yeah, beautiful mare, did a power of work. As you can see, Queen Alida, far from disgrace. Elderbaron and Crew just getting over the top of it there on the outside. The Joshy Duggan horse was unlucky, still trying to get out. Ebony's Avenger, a great finish there for the three mares across the line. The depth in the mares here in Australia is outstanding, and it's terrific to be able to see these great horses going to the line so well. And it's going to make a lot of intrigue. As I said, David Branch will be on in a minute. Two mares going to line up this year with Queen Alida going as well. So two mares will be lining up, which gives the barrier draws a little bit of intrigue. Bulletproof Boy was outstanding. Go and watch a replay of that. He was just massive. He just 3 deep to the front at the 400 metre mark. It was only a 1200 metre race, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, he was awesome. And then the other horse we might just quickly show, because we will be talking about him in a minute too, is RC Phoenix. And here he is here just turning for home, but he was sensational. On Bobby, going amazing on Bobby. Kiang Chucky and Elderbaron Zeus fighting out third and fourth behind. On Bobby, he's a revelation. Great to see Eddie Tapp with his horse going super. If any person deserves a horse to be going that good, Eddie Tapp is one of those men, because he's a great bloke and a lot of fun. So yeah, going to be a great night of racing. Of course, we also then had the Locomotive, and as I said there before, he's been invited to the across the Tab well, he was already in the Tab Trot. Sorry, he's actually been invited across to the elite lot. But yeah, he won by 12 metres, beating Hanover to Moon. We'll try and get the last. It's a little bit trickier there. I think he trotted about a 52-1 this horse on this occasion as well. So yeah, he's low flying. Hopefully he goes as good as this once he goes overseas, and he'll really announce him. He trots a lot like an American horse with a couple of lines on each side. But yeah, he was awesome there. I'm just trying to get the third horse. I know that London to a Brick is the third horse's name. I did cheat, but I hadn't got to the cheat sheets just yet. Yeah, Locomotive beat Hanover to Moon, and then London to a Brick in third place, but 152-1, which is just scintillating times. And well done to Brad, who's had a pretty big week actually. Brad, he stepped out a couple of horses, and we will touch on those in a sec, but he stepped out a couple of horses over the last few days too that have just been amazing, absolutely amazing the way that they've stepped out as well. And then we also had Not As Promised, who didn't go around on Saturday night. He actually jumped on the Sunday morning plane, so he's over there, arrived, and he's taken up his slot in the Tab Trot as well. I think all the spots are filled, just not officially just yet with I'm Ready Jet. As long as she pulled up okay, she was going to be heading across to there as well. So most of the spots are actually filled on that occasion. We also then had the display of Don Hugo. He's an exciting horse. We'll touch on the other brute that went sensational the other night, but this is a 149-3 win, and haven't seen this horse in person. He's effortless the way he does it. There's not a lot to him, but he just loves it, and he just loves running. I don't think Cambridge will hold any worries for him. He has been dominant at Menangle as he's been going along, but yeah, he was sensational on Saturday night, and as I said, he went a 149-3 mile rate, which was just scintillating. They're beating on the Falcon, Montebello. Tay was good. Tay was very good actually, going from a long way back on that occasion, but 26-5, 28-6, 28-3, 25-9 if you don't mind. That was terrific. Probably would have been the run of the night on most occasions, except for when the big fella steps out at Aldebaran Park, Albion Park. Here he is here, and sets a track record of 148-6. Leap to fame, and hopefully he goes across. I believe he's going to be getting on a plane on Sunday morning, so this Sunday coming, but yeah, you can see there the quarters 26-6, 28-3, 27-3, not being driven out to the line, new track record 148-6, just absolutely outstanding. Great to see a horse like him so dominant, and now hopefully he gets to Cambridge. I think I've heard a few well, a little bit of conversation around whether he will or won't be going, but hopefully for connections and for the industry, hopefully he does go across there as well, because we need horses like him heading across there in that fashion. So a few people watching, Eric Hendricks, Michael Bellman, and a couple of other people. So yeah, please feel free to get involved in the show. Emily Howe, hello to you, Ems. Don't forget Bathurst is on this weekend. I haven't got one of my tickets going. We'll put the Bathurst, the Nutrient one up, going through there, because well, the Howell children have got one going in, and it is, rightio, let's get out of here. That's a bit of a wrap from most of the big runs on the weekend. We will touch on a couple of the New Zealand ones. Tune in to my New Zealand show, though. I called up with Hayden Cullen with a couple of big wins, well, one big win and a couple almost, and then Regan Todd with one super win, and then another almost. The boys were playing chops and change, and then also the Stonewall had a great win with the Harness Millions, but we will go from there. But that's it here. Yeah, Smoke My Motor. So, yep, the Bathurst sale is on this Sunday coming. Bathurst Harness Racing Club yearling sale. Try and get the fingers out of the way, that's better there. Is on the 30th. 71 lots to go under the hammer. Just be aware, if you have got that, the paper version, there is actually still another 3 lots after that. So lot 73, which is a Pine Valley Victoria, What the Hill Trotter. What the Hill's done a great job. I think he had 6 winners this week alone. Smoke My Motor by King of Swing for Dennis and Joe Howe. And then a Star Play, which is a Mick Wicked Star Play for Veronica Fisher. All those horses have been late, but they're getting in there. Of course, Smoke My Motor had a skin irritation, so did not go to the Sydney sale, but that is fine. and all been rectified there. So make sure you go to nutrientstandardbred.com.au to view that. Click on the Bathurst click and go from there. And don't forget, massive week coming up for Melbourne with the yearling sales April 11th through to 13th. So there'll be races on the Friday night, parade on the Saturday, sales on the Sunday. Big week, some huge lots. Been able to see, well, quite a few so far, and looking forward to covering a few more this weekend as well. So we'll get around quite a few more this week and go from there. Unfortunately, we just they're doing service here, and for whatever reason, certain things just don't want to load up. I can't bring a couple of these late horses up. Well, that one did come up, so I'm wondering. I'll just click back and make sure there's no. There it is. There, McWicked out of Star Play was also I was trying to get up. So damn, one file 3-year-old older. One is raced. That is Star Tin, very close to Shah Tin. Being by Tintin in America, that's quite fine, so that's quite a good name, that horse there. So that is lot 75. So 73, 74 and 75 are late ones. If you click onto the website, you'll be able to cover off on that. One of the ones I wanted to catch up with Brad Hewitt, of course, Bathurst, and we're talking about the Bathurst yearling sales, is on this weekend, and there's been some pretty good results for the breeders going through it. Some really exciting, I hit the wrong button, really exciting 2-year-olds stepping out. It's always a great time of year, Bathurst, so I wonder how many people look at it the same way as what I do, but it can be just a massive night, if you like, or evening of racing. It started last Wednesday on the 19th, and there was some terrific runs there at Bathurst. Could just do this, we won't show the replays, but Willow's Girl, bred by Dennis and Joe Howe, so Montellino, they sold a sibling to that the other day, was very impressive. 55.4. Sparkling Sea by Lather Up for Woodlands. That's why the Woodlands banner is up there. I think Lather Up had 5 individual winners this week, and 4 of those were new. 53 and 8 set outside Capture Our Heart was terrific. Fake Friends for Darren Brown, Tom Ison, so well done to those guys. A couple of names we don't see. Protest, and it was upheld, second versus first for Calypso Rainbow, 150 to 1 pop. It was terrific though, by Captain Crunch out of Esprit Rainbow. Good winner the other night for Melissa Hawkes, beating Open the Gate. Sam Barker had a winner with Discernment by Captain Treacherous, so plenty of nice horses coming out here for Heath Burke. Captain Jay's another Captain Crunch, so Crunch has had 2 or 3 winners this weekend as well. Ripples, the better's the light out of Naya Franco for Mickey Harvey. And then there was a couple of the graduate races, Heavenly Holly and Windy Hill Tara, both winning those races. I think there was a few conditions on that, and somehow or other Windy Hill Tara was able to get into that. And then on Friday night we had the boys stepping out in the heats of the Gold Crown. Matarenka Park, of course, Dennis and Joe Howe were there. David Hewitt produced Message Bank by Captain Treacherous out of Gimme 20 was terrific. Then Brad himself produced Rewatch, a Captain Crunch, Electo Watch for Mick Harvey. Going from there, American Ideal, Huey's sister, Mr. Americano for Jeff Webster was very, very impressive. Pure Grunt I didn't get to see, but Vincent out of Ideal Tact. I wonder if that's Brad and Nikki Steele. Must be. Don't know about that one, but it nearly must be. A $1.10, very well named. 20 Better's Delight out of Miss Halfpenny. Brian Portelli from the Thurston's Bred. Lucurus, Sweet Lou out of Our Little Artist. I think, 7 heats. You've got to believe another Captain Crunch, Russell Jack, Dave Moran. They've had a good day today too, I believe. And then a couple of the older races, graduates for the boys. Black Onyx and Ramirio winning there as well. And we'll just go, while we're on these ones here, we'll just quickly go to Bathurst today. We'll get to David Branch in a second. So Sugar Pie Honey, a Sweet Lou that we highlighted last week, a 51.6 again. That's about 2 weeks in a row. Auntie Lou, another Sweet Lou out of Arts Treasure. American Ideal, geez, Woodlands have had a day out here. Soho Americano. Sweet Lou, Gonna Reload for Paul and Will Rickson. Better's Delight for Peace Out. Hesitate by Sports Rider. He had to break the... Oh, no, that's heat 1. So 5 heats of the gold bracelet, all taken out by Woodland Stud Horse as well. You also then had Hesitate, It's Confidential, taking out the 2nd of the gold chalice. 3rd of the gold chalice went to Mac Bon. Foxdan won the heat 4. And then Jack's Ultimate Fury for Russell Jack. That's what I said, they've had a pretty good day there. Took out race 10. Actually, I didn't see this race because it was after. So Nick of Time. I'm not sure what that race is there. It's an older horse race, so he is one as well. McDowell's have had a pretty good couple of days as well. So, and one more race still to come there on those channels there. So, yeah, great to see these 2-year-olds stepping out, and good to see some of the farms having some big runs going forward. So, which is what we want. We had Gawler today. I've got to look after all of my sponsors. Where is that? We'll put Brecken's up now. We'll take the Woodlands one down. We had the Gawler Trotters Cup and Hambletonian. Sorry for drinking, but I'm not. Hopefully it will come up. Every now and then, if nothing wants to reload. Right. We had a couple of races. Elderbaron Dexter by Elderbaron Eagle won race 2. Well done to Duncan. He'll be happy with that. But just trying to find Regal Attire. There it is. So, of course, Brecken Farms bred. Had a few stables, but done an awesome job there, Regal Attire. The son of Muscle Hill at a Regal Volo beat Stockman Pete. Well done, David Phillips. And Mark Phillips having a drive outside of Mount Gambier. So, well done to him there. Delightful Tammy in 3rd for Toby. Ryan David Harding was 3rd, 4th there as well. So, some pretty good results going through there with most of those horses. So, well done to Gawler, South Australia. They're still racing. They've still got a couple of races. I saw Tristan Larson made the effort to get across there as well. A couple of drives, but not a lot of joy. So, yeah. So, going from there. So, we've got a few people online. Sometimes these phones get stuck. So, if you are sending messages through, I'm sorry if I'm not getting them and going from there. So, big few weeks of harness racing, plenty on offer with lots of people, so we want to make sure we can get that stuff going. Just double checking. I'm going to ring David right now. We've just got to get hold of hopefully I can get hold of him. I'll just see. Don't tell me. Right. Now we're away. I had a bit of trouble there for a second. Yep, good to go now, hopefully. Just have to...
Hey Paul.
David.
Hey, how are you going?
Very, very well. Thank you very much for joining me, mate.
No worries at all.
Plenty happening over there in Cambridge, mate. I wasn't sure exactly where to start it, because you've got a lot happening at the minute. You must be enjoying a very, very busy time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, next week's the big one, but we've also got a massive meeting this Friday with the Flying Miles and those fields. We couldn't be happier, really. So that plus barrier draws and a whole lot of other stuff going on. It's super exciting, and we just got to keep stopping every now and then and breathing and enjoying it as well. So that's what it's all about. I
was going to get you on, I think last week. I ended up getting a bit busy, and I saw you at a race meeting. If I'd have gone Tuesday this week, though, you got a race meeting as well, another 7 races. So that's good for the North Island to be so busy. A lot gets said, Dave, if you like, about the numbers and the breeding numbers declining and the racing population. But to be able to have so many meetings on the North Island, you must be pretty rapt.
Yeah, absolutely. And our Tuesdays, I guess it was a bit of a trial, if you like, from the start of the season. So August through to November, we raced every Tuesday. Then we stopped over Christmas and New Year's and had grass tracks and Manawatu and all that sort of stuff. But from the end of March, April, we essentially race every single week. So every single Tuesday, again, we're back. And what you find is the horses get in the rhythm, the trainers do. They start racing every week and not working them in between. So we're sort of just, this is the very early stage. I think we had a meeting last week and then this week, and then and come April, May, we every week right through till the end of, pretty much the end of October, November.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. We've got a fantastic team here who just make it fun to come to work, and we can have a laugh, which is the most important thing. But I'm incredibly proud of what we're building here, and obviously Night of Champions is one thing, but we're building a catering business from scratch. We've got a sports bar. We've just demolished the old grandstand to make way for the new stables eventually. So there's always something happening, and it's always fun turning up to work.
So the grandstand will be gone. The big long grandstand.
So down from where Garrard's Horse and Hound was, so down from the clubhouse, so that's all gone. So that's flat now.
Wow.
Just in time. Some ready lawns going down tomorrow. Then the marquee will go up next week. So that'll be a new space for us, and we've relocated Garrard's into the middle level of our main grandstand. So they've rehomed themselves in there.
Right. So the one will be a new look, but obviously offer up some unique opportunities.
Yeah. So our master plan is to build proper enclosed stables. There's not many more miserable places on a wet Cambridge night than down at those stables. I'm trying to keep out of the weather. So one big big enclosed shed is the goal. The first stage of that, we were fortunate to get some funding from the TAB. So the first stage of that is done.
Yep.
And then the next stage is just building the new stables.
Yep. So when will that start, or is it just still to be decided?
Yeah, to be decided at this stage. So as I say, stage one was clearing the space, and we had the funding to do that, and now we'll look ahead at when they can start, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well that's good, because I will say one thing from my point of view, when you're doing interviews down there, there's two problems in a way. It's very close, very hard to get away from each other in a way, because it is very tight, but also it's very dark, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. And and they've been around since the 70s, and they're just patch up job on patch up job. So they're well and truly, and that's the sort of stuff that comes as well with racing every week. We've gone from sort of 28 meetings a year to 42, 44, I think, next year. So we need to make sure that we're providing facilities that our industry participants want to turn up to, I guess.
I was going to say, people want to be there. That's one of the things. So. Yep. So hopefully, the powers that be are looking after you there and try and get that going, because it's great for the participants and the people. Before we talk about Night of Champions, you've got a pretty good meeting coming up this week. I'm just going to quickly 9 races, good fields in all of those. We could probably say with the exception of one, but I'm going to quiz you on that anyway, because I think there might have been a similar size field last year. But all in all, for your flying miles this week, you must be wrapped in the field sizes for the fields you've been able to assemble as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in each year, I think the Pacers Flying Mile has been as exciting, if not a little bit more, than the big race the week after. So, any thoughts of horses turning up to that, having a quiet one before the big one? History will tell you that doesn't necessarily happen, and I'm sure with the field that's assembled there, there'll be a lot of speed on, and it will be a flying mile for sure.
It is indeed. There's quite a few interesting horses. One thing, it's one of my bugbears in a way, when you see a couple of the lower assessed horses drawing ones, because it's preferential draw on their ratings. But you see a couple of horses. Kango would have been really interesting if he had been able to get off the front line, but because of the ratings, he draws 2 on the second line, which for some horses would be good, but a big horse like him that can get out of the gate and posse up, it's probably not ideal for him. So it is an interesting race, especially with the barrier draws away. They I suppose they have fallen. Yeah,
we've had that preferential draw on there for the last maybe 3 or 4 years, and as you say, not ideal if you end up at the split of being front row, back row. But what it does do is get the likes of Frisco Bay lining up, taking its spot in this. Sooner the better is probably an anomaly, given what he's done with his racing being that low. But the little spike in that who knows? Potentially, if it was an open draw and they drew 7 or 8, maybe they wouldn't be there. So it seems to work and certainly make the race of it.
The ones that I find a little bit, like I say, from my point of view, is Chase a Dream and Ohaka Connor drawing the front line and makers of their own destiny, if you like. They can go forward. They have options, whereas you've got Duchess Megxit and Kango because I think they must go to 5 and then 9 and 10 and then back out to 6, 7, 8. Must be the way they work it. I don't know, but it's just one of those frustrating ones. Sometimes a front row draw is a lot better than a second line draw. In saying that, no one wants to draw 8. So
that's exactly how it works. That 1 to 5, then 9, 10, then back out, and then back to the second row. So just the way the cards have fell this week, I guess.
Yeah, but a great field. Some horses, as you said, there were a little horse you did pick up on, Little Spike. How good was he last week?
Yeah, he was awesome. So, and obviously, as it is at the moment, there's a few in there that don't have slots. So they're and you mix the ones. You're not just getting a rinse and repeat of the field for the week after, and that's what we've found. We've found each year we've done it that those ones that haven't got starts are probably out there doing it as well. So just adds another element to it.
Who have we got in out of that field? We've got Merlin, Pinseeker, Recaro Rocket.
Potentially, we're still waiting to see what Stonewall announce for their slot, but potentially Ohoka Connor and also the Mark Purd and Chris Ryder slot currently have Chase a Dream, but I'm sure they'll be looking for him to prove himself. They've got till 12 o'clock, till midday the next day to lock in their horse. So 12 o'clock on Saturday is when the acceptance is closed for that race.
Okay, so that's when they've got to be declared. So, and we'll touch on that because I think there's another horse a little bit up, or another spot. Shouldn't say horse, but I think the spot's full. But we'll touch on that in a second. We'll go to the Trotters. We'll stick on to this first meeting this Friday night, which is a huge meeting and part of Friday Night Lights for the tab and that. But only 5 in the trot. But am I right in thinking the night Aldebaran Zeus won there? It wasn't an overly big field on that occasion either?
Yeah, so Aldebaran Zeus was when we ran it as a supporting race on the Night of Champions because we didn't have the TAB trot. But last year was Queen Elida and Oscar, and I think potentially only 4 or 5 in that as well.
Yep.
I think would we have loved a full field, obviously, but what we've got for the week after setting up, and because we only have 8 in the TAB trot, there's not as many around potentially as the pace. But I think that the really cool thing is that for the week after, we've got all the different form lines coming in. So the Locomotive hasn't raced, Dead and Win and Oscar and Great Dev not as promised here this week, obviously, as well. But all those different form lines coming together and Queen Elida and the other ones as well, of course.
Yeah, well, I think this race, again, will add a little bit of intrigue. Bet and Win's just been brilliant. He couldn't go any better. It's great for David and Stacey. Pardon me. Oscar Bonavina. He didn't even put a bad performance in 2 starts ago. He galloped, and according to Greg Sugars, it was sort of his fault, sort of the horse's fault. He's a bit of an enigma that way to get him away from time to time. So, and then you got Not As Promised, who, well, wasn't that long ago he was a pin-up horse. He seems to have been the forgotten horse, and it's great to see him back there, I think, Dave. I think it's a great lot of intrigue as well, and sometimes that's what you need in these races, not exactly exposed form. Yeah, all those different layers that just add so much to the race, and obviously there'll be a lot of eyes on Not As Promised to see how he stacks up against obviously Dead and Win and Oscar, and then we go the week after and we add Muscle Mountain into the mix as well. So just keeps adding layers to what already is pretty fascinating. Going to be a fascinating race. It's going to be a great race, that race there, because Zev Meredith's done a great job with One More Moment, Group 1 winner, and then another Group 1 winner, Kai Valley Hotspur, bred by Brecken Farms, back in the winner's circle and terrific the other night, beating Oscar. He did have the advantage with the barriers and used it to his advantage, beautifully driven by Crystal, but it's going to be a race with so much intrigue. It's not funny, that's for sure, and it's going to be a nice precursor, if you like, to what's going to be a fabulous night of racing on April the 4th, Friday, April the 4th. It's going to come around very, very quickly.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find, can I see, I might have to go to your Facebook page, I reckon. Is that the best place to find the actual fields?
Nightofchampions.nz will bring up the, and then just under, find the menu and just under slot races.
Is that your page, Night of Champions?
Yeah, nightofchampions.nz is the website.
All right, that's one for everyone else to look at as well. Oh, look at that! I'm glad you told me that one. I've got the hats. Where'd you say?
Find menu top right, and then just slot races, and that'll give you the confirmed ones there.
You know your way around these. You're a good man. You've actually helped me out. So there's the page, and go from there. So this is actually the final lots of slots. We might stick with the trot, even though we've got them both side by side. But Queen Alida, she was outstanding the other day. Must be great to be getting her back.
Yeah. Obviously, she was she had a tough run the other day, but still held in there. And I remember last year coming into our race, there was talk that she wasn't up to her usual self, but she still came out and win a massive race and got third. So we know at this stage likely to be I'm Ready Jet as well, although not confirmed, but that all signs pointing to that. So that means the mares are going to draw 1 and 2 between them. So that'll be a little bit of a another level of intrigue. Whereas in the past, she was guaranteed the one draw Queen Alida, but might end up drawing 2 this time.
Yeah, it doesn't have the slot holders that haven't got a spot on this tile, but of course that is for us to trot. Is anyone wondering what David's saying there? That if she pulls up good and there's no rush, she will be taking a spot in the race.
Of course. The other one there that's not there that is all we just not confirmed, but we know is going to be there is Oscar in the All Stars Racing Chris Ryder slot.
Yes.
Those are the 2 missing there.
Yep, sorry. So again, because they own those slots, they know they're going to have them. It's common knowledge, but it's not locked in, so you can't put it into lock it in case something does happen from there. Bet and Win, almost a local horse in a way when you think about where he was bred.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously slot holder Brecken Racing and the family there with Richard Cole. He's the favourite at the moment, I think. So and deservedly so, the way he won last week down at Addington.
Bit of a crowd favourite as well. Muscle Mountain was great though, chasing him home. Good to see him getting back to form, and a bit of a forgotten New Zealand horse.
Yeah, I think he might be one that's flying under the radar. We know how good he is when he's right, and same thing. He sort of loomed up like he was going to run past Bet and Win the other day, and maybe just blew out a bit. But I'm sure they'll have him bang on, and we know how good he is when he is in form. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'd say they're happy with him because they could have probably brought him up a week earlier, but they've left him there, and 2 weeks earlier they could have. In a way, he could have stepped out last week and also this weekend coming, but they must be happy with him, which is good. RC Phoenix was outstanding on Saturday night. You would have been rapt to see. It was a little bit of a mystery, but again, another horse that Duncan McPherson and Ashley Haynes had done a handshake deal on, that if he got through, everything was right. He'd be representing Aldebaran Park, and 52-1. You would have been wrapped with that.
Yeah, it was a late night, but it was pretty exciting watching them go bang, 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 bang. Like you couldn't have scripted that hour and a bit, whatever it was, better really, could you? I think there were 3 races back to back to back, and it was just exactly what we wanted. We want the Australians coming over here in the best form possible, so that they, because that's what makes it. So it makes it an international event. And
in a way, a major coup for you, David, is getting the Locomotive, because he's now going to the elite lot. Now you had Just Believe last year. Was it last year or the year before? It must have been the
year before. Last year he won it. Yep.
Yeah, but the year before he was going to be coming across to take on Aldebaran Zeus and contest a few of those other races when there wasn't a tab trot, and pulled out to get himself ready for the elite lot. Because of the prize money, because of the prestige, you're now able to secure a horse like the Locomotive, which is just exciting for harness racing full stop.
Yeah, I mean, that was an awesome surprise, and what it's going to do, it just keeps sort of solidifying this race as well. So we've, had 2, well, this will be the second running, but the first one was Just Believe, who chose, not to go back to the elite lot after the year before and going so well, and obviously he had that international audience eyes on him, and then we've managed to do that again. So, I guess just full credit to the slot holder and that for coming here as well, because it could have been easy to say, well, we'll just find another horse, another trotter we can send over, and we'll just go to Sweden because that's such an incredible opportunity. But just incredibly excited to have that, and those international Northern Hemisphere eyeballs on the race just give it that credibility. And who knows, maybe one day we can sell them a slot in it if this works out. If the timeline. Horse can do both.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say to you, though, David. I think hats off to yourself and Cambridge Harness Racing Club. You've managed to find a slot race and a spot, if you like, that's going to work. And what you're going to be able to do, you're going to have Europeans watching because they know the locomotive's coming. Horses, up-and-coming horses like RC Phoenix and Bet and Win, their connections are not scared to go chase that, if you like. They wouldn't be scared to take on international races. Who knows what might come of this? I think hats off to yourself and Cambridge for having the thought process to get this off the ground. And I know it's only been 2 years, but I know you've been working behind the scenes for over 4 trying to get it to work. It didn't come off the first time when you wanted it, but to get it now, and it's going to solidify itself now as a major trotting race going forward, especially with the locomotive and going across there to Europe. So I think well done to you guys.
Yeah, we're still learning. In hindsight, it's still not a challenge, but we still only managed to sell 8 slots this year. So I'd like to think, we quite easily could have had 10 in both fields this year, with the benefit of hindsight and people's horses going better than perhaps what they thought they were at the time, and people buying their own slots. So I'm looking forward to, once we're out the other side, sitting down with Harness Racing New Zealand, who have absolutely backed up both of these races this time and have taken a lot of pressure off us in that sense. We've had to run things like sweepstakes to top the stakes stuff and dip into our cash reserves and stuff to get it to this point. So to have the backing of Harness Racing New Zealand and Entain and be working with those, so looking forward to afterwards sitting down doing a review. There'll be things we learn, and then we can make it bigger and better every year, which is always the goal.
Yeah, but I think it's exciting, and there's a horse called Kiang Chucky who hasn't got a spot. There is a rumour, still to be seen, but he might actually even be in New Zealand that weekend and iron off some races through Auckland and that coming forward. Not sure if anyone's reported on that one yet or not. It's not an exclusive. I don't do exclusives, but I do know that is the thought process a little bit, that the prize money on offer in New Zealand at the minute is too good for a horse like him to miss out. But the problem is he has missed out on a slot, and I know that group of people are disappointed that they missed out and they blame themselves. So you've probably got one more slot filled right there, I reckon, especially with a little horse they've got sitting in the wings for next year and might draw 1 or 2 as well, Dave. So I think you could sell one more slot anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's gutting for everyone clearly, because we would have loved to have the horse here, but the way it is, a lot of slot holders bought their own, and it's totally understandable. And then still hard as well. That we have to find a way to look at ways of giving better returns to slot holders, because once if you win, everyone's happy, but once you get back to 3rd and 4th, there's still a bit of work to do with the stake money split, and that'll all be part of the conversations afterwards, I think. But yeah, hey, if that horse is here, we're gonna need an emergency. We draw one emergency in each field, so who knows? It's their horses. Things happen. We don't wish that on anyone, but there's potential, and even if one doesn't perform or anything like that, a slot holder can easily snap a horse like that up for sure.
Yeah, well, anyone that's listening, I've got a few people listening. It'd be interesting, but he could definitely be on the radar, and he's a beautiful horse. I'll tell you one thing he is. He's a beautiful horse, Dave. he's a ripper. He won the Hammerhead two starts ago. He was great last week chasing RC home, but he's a beautiful horse to look at. So yeah, and even Aldebaran Zeus, like you guys saw what he was able to do there on the first night of Grins, the Grins night.
Yeah.
Duncan McPherson opts for RC Phoenix, but a horse like him that's not there, a high speed horse, likes the gate. If he drew the right barrier, well, it's going to be very hard for him, hard for other horses to get past him. But he's an absolute ripper. So yeah, what is the Tab Trot worth, Dave?
600,000.
Yep.
So was if we'd sold 10 slots, it would have been 650, but reduces by the slot holder contribution. So everything stays the same, other than
Yep.
we drop off those last two. So yeah, 600,000, which is what it was last year in richest trotting race in Australasia, I believe.
Yep.
And keeps that mantle again.
The Queenslanders will be snapping at your heels. Don't worry, the Inter-Dominion's 5. It'll get there as well. So, which is good. We want more people. The industry needs more people, getting these races up and going. Rightio, the paces. And there was plenty of intrigue in those going forward. Duchess Megxit, the fillies draw one again, so she's going to be a real chance. She'll get a look at the fence at least this week. I said before about her barrier draw. At least this week she'll be on the fence, so that's going to give them a good insight as to how she's going to handle the tight track.
Yeah, and I see Tony Hurley, he's down to drive this week, so he'll be thinking back to when he nearly got third in it, not last year, the year before on the mare of Nathan Purdon. So
yeah, for the hole in the wall group, I can't think of her name, but she was a good filly. That filly too, wasn't she?
Yeah. So can history repeat? I mean, there's no better place than the marker pegs at Cambridge on a hot speed. So yeah.
Merlin, North Island favourite. I think one of the good horses of the industry right at the minute. Maybe whether he's just at his peak as we speak. I'm sure Barry and Scotty are working on him behind the scenes, but he's a quality horse and taking up the Montana Park syndicate slot.
Yeah, I see the TAB have just put odds out for the Flying Mile this week, and he's opened the $2.70 favourite, drawn 11 even. So there's clearly a bit of confidence there from the bookmakers anyway. Different ball game the week after with those Aussies, but certainly leads the New Zealand pack, I would say.
At the minute, yeah. Don Hugo, he's the coup, I think, 4 years. He won a Eureka, an Inter-Dominion, and a Miracle Mile. Never been done before, but that's an easy comment because there's never been a Eureka. Well, there's only been 2 runnings of the Eureka, but he is a serious horse, and he's a bloody good horse to have come too, because he's a good-looking horse. Brings them McCarthy's, which adds another bit of intrigue. Dave, you must have been rapt when the boys got paid and that got this horse to come across. Yeah,
that just worked out beautifully, to be fair, and I sort of had a few worries early on, just the way the slots were selling and the way it was set up, but, people just buying their own slot, and then you lose the bit of the drama and who's going to be in it and stuff. So to get that to have N40 and boys get paid, pick that up, and then to go and bring John Hugo that's incredible. And I think I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I think if we just had Leap to Fame coming, maybe he's $1.50. Just had Don Hugo potentially the same, but you chuck them both in together. If they go, depending, obviously we've got a lot to play off the draws, but if they're going head to head the last 800 at Cambridge, and you've got a Merlin or Republican Party or any of those thing on their back, it absolutely, I think having both of those is the key, and just makes the race in my mind.
And Duchess Megxit sitting through back the fence. Tony Hurley start giggling to himself. I mean, it's just a nice little mix, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see that, those two going hammer and tong, and then, then it could be anyone's race, which is exactly what you want going into this. We all excited to see a champion and Leap to Fame, but you also want a proper race out of it, which I'm sure we'll get.
Yeah, Pinseeker for Mouse Brennan and Roslyn Racing. Adds a bit of intrigue. He is a real up-and-comer. He's a son of Seaside. They can roll a mile. He's going to need the favours. Barrier draws in his favours, but he is going to add that intrigue into the race.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously won really impressively last start, and then in the race, I think it was the Christian Cullen that Riquero Rocket won.
He was unlucky.
So, and that was beating Merlin in those ones.
Yep.
So absolutely deserves his place. And again, just keeps adding those stories and those layers on and on and on, which is absolutely what we want.
And his form, his exposed form, a little bit like what you're saying with Don Hugo. Well, Don Hugo and Leap to Fame, I suppose there is exposed form, but what is it, about 20 centimetres is the exposed form difference between the pair of them. Yeah, you've got so much intrigue. You've got a horse like Republican Party, the next one, who's flying, not having a lot of luck. He's due for a barrier draw. He gets a barrier draw again. That cold sit on the back of some of these big boys carving out good sectionals. You never know what he'll do, and Carter's in rare form at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any horse. What we've seen over the years, and probably just this just speaks to the strength of the open class horses at the moment. But the first year I think we had probably 6 or 7, or maybe 8, really top liners, and then we were, the slot holders scrambling for the other 2, and then year on year I think the strength has just kept building. And this is going to be the most even and outstanding field by far, I think.
Well, the last horse that is got a slot, and that's for Rakiro Racing, of course, is Rakiro Rocket. This horse deserves to be in it, though. Group 1 winner himself. That race on Cup Week. It wasn't Cup Week. Yeah, it was Cup Week.
Was it maybe early December?
Yeah, the Aces night, but doesn't matter. But he's a serious horse for Tom Bamford. And again, gate speed, tactical nous. That's the one thing a lot of these horses have. They've all got that intrigue that if they get the barrier draw, they're going to be able to use it to their advantage. There's not too many in the race that are going to say we've got to come off the arm because we can't go with these horses. If they draw right, they actually can have a crack at the front.
Yeah, and obviously 2,200 metres, this is all part of the goal when we set these races up. We used to have the harness jewels. And our mile start points way over the back, and what we wanted, this was a non-negotiable, was the 2,200 metre start, so that the horses took off in front of the crowd the first time.
Yep.
So to do that and have, the barrier reveal for these, the barrier draw, is just going to be fascinating.
Yeah, so you've got a couple other spots still to go. We've got the Dennis and Mark Dunford spot. Now, there is strong talk that will be Don't Stop Dreaming now. I did an interview with Hayden Cullen today that'll go tomorrow for the New Zealand show, but that looks like they will be swapping from We Walk by Faith to him.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously they own that horse, so that and that was an outstanding win the other night as well. So again, any of these horses that we're talking, they're all going to have their shot. That's for sure.
Solid Earth, of course, and for harness racing's sake, I hope he does get there. But Leap to Fame, provided he can get on the plane next Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'll be very happy when I hear that the plane's landed in New Zealand, as will most of the industry. Well, maybe not the other 9 slot holders and horses, but I think the racing, the general racing public in New Zealand will be very happy when we hear he gets here. But could not have been. Well, what do you even say about last Saturday? How impressive was that? And again, speaks to it wasn't him and Don Hugo racing each other. They were at different tracks in different states, and to bring them all together for our race, couldn't script it any better if we tried.
It's the fastest any horse has ever gone around Albion Park, and he done it without the whip turned and Granny just sort of asking him. He made a statement, and he's a serious horse. And I hope for the New Zealanders that haven't been able to get across to Australia and watch this horse, they get to see him because he is freakish. Swayze's the same. They're brothers. It's just ridiculous how good these 2 horses are. But probably agree with you. I reckon like a couple of the Purdens, they won't be upset if he doesn't turn up because they've had to chase him home a few times.
Yeah. I guess everyone loves the champion, right? And I'm sure everyone will want to see him here, unless you're probably one of those in there. But for racing, it's such a coup to have him coming, and just fingers crossed that he's come through that race well and has a good week, and we see him over here on Sunday.
So I suppose the only one with intrigue is All Stars and Chris Ryder, and what they do. Although Chase a Dream, I think, is locked in at the minute.
So they haven't locked him in. So we've got 2. So we've got Stonewall Stud as well.
Oh, yes, sorry.
So All Stars, speaking to Mark today, he's said that Chase a Dream will have to prove himself, but he's got till Saturday the next day to make some calls if he needs to. But he's in the Flying Mile Friday night, drawn 6. So if there was anyone you could have to turn your horse's form around and get it right for a big race, I think it'd be Mark. So
just out of curiosity, how did that conversation go? Did he say he thinks he can turn him around? Because if he does, he'll be shortening up a lot in the market. I know that.
He didn't really give much away, to be fair. He was just calling to nominate, and he said,
That's unlike Mark.
yeah, yeah. He'll have to. I think it was he'll have to do something on Friday night. So I'm sure he'll have a backup plan in place anyway. But we'll wait and see, I guess.
The boys on Friday Night Lights were suggesting he gets the ultimate operation. That won't be happening before your race. So hopefully that doesn't happen. He's a good horse. They'll get him back. If anyone can, he can. And again, we talk about that intrigue, Dave. Like, imagine if he sets a tracker like this weekend. What does that then do, for exposed form in the race?
Yeah, 100%.
And then Stonewall Stud, have they tentatively put someone in?
No. So, they've got. I haven't heard anything, but they've got O'Hoka Connor and the Flying Mile this week, drawn 7. So. You would assume that's where they're leaning with their one, but haven't heard anything officially.
No, all right. So plenty to play out still, which is what we want. We want intrigue. We want build up. I mean, I agree with you. I'd like to see these races eventually get to a stage where people don't pick their own horse in a way. I know you can't ask people to put a lot of money up and not put their own horses in, but the flip side of it is that the romance of maybe. For All Stars Racing and Chris Ryder, and they get leaped to fame, you know what I mean? And then Solid Earth get Don Hugo. Like, that would add so much more intrigue, I think, to the race and talking points.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably where I wrestled a bit with this. What we've created with the things like the 1 year term and the way the stake money structure is and stuff like that. Essentially, it was too good. If you had a good horse, you should have bought your own slot.
Yep.
In an ideal world, you would have 10 slot holders and none of them had connections to any horse. Now, our industry isn't big enough to do that, and even with the Everest, Waller has his own slot in that. But somewhere, you need a mix, because the risk is if everyone has the 9 or 8 or 9 best horses have their own slot, then it's hard to sell the other 2 to someone knowing that they're not going to get, or even have a chance to negotiate with one of the good ones. So there's a fine balance. I don't think we've got it quite right, although we've got the best field that we possibly could. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but certainly something to talk about afterwards, I think, and there'll be some tweaks we can make to.
But if you get especially a horse like Pin Seeker, and just trying to think of the name of that filly who, unfortunately for connections, she didn't run third, but she wasn't in the top 10. I think they actually picked her purely because she was a filly, and they decided, well, we're going to get barrier 1, so let's just take that.
Was it no matter what?
No matter what. Yep, WAT.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That was exactly the horse, and that's one of the reasons they took her, because of the barrier draw advantage. Well, eventually that's going to be seen. Some people are going to say, rightio, okay, so we can't beat these boys. The only way we can beat them, is the Duchess Megxit thing. So you might have a nice gelding or colt yourself. You might be better off, trying to find a filly. And look, a couple of these last spots, either Stonewall or All Stars, they might, take a filly. Well, won't that throw a spanner in the works for yourself and everyone else that's worked out? Well, Duchess is going to draw 1. If she draws 2, a speedy horse underneath her, but that's still to play out. That still can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's racing, right? So we saw what Swayze's done. I think I heard someone say the other day, we're still not ruling out him turning up. It's not likely, but it wasn't likely with what happened to the in the New Zealand Cup either, was it? So who knows? But it's exciting few days to play out, I guess. All
Stars Racing and Chris Ryder, and they got Swayze representing them, and that would be a godsend for punting, wouldn't it? I mean, that would just turn punting on its head. It'd be great. Yeah, well, that would be a nightmare for the bookies, but it would add another element, that's for sure. Might be a nightmare for David Branch, because his catering might have to really step up a bit, because they'd come from everywhere. Half the South Island would come to watch a race like that, I think. Yeah. Well, we're tracking, sort of ticket sales for GA are 50% ahead of where we've been other years, and we've started saying today, look, we think if this carries on the way it is and we get good weather, then it could be a sellout. So if people are coming, certainly we've updated our comms today to say get your tickets, because we've got capacity and it's looking like it's going to sell out. Good as gold. Hopefully you got me one spot. That's all I need is one little bit of area, and I'll and some Wi-Fi. And other than that, I'll be sweet. Brad Steele
Well,
says
it's nice you've decided to join us this year after the last two you haven't been at, have you?
last two was it? How many have you had? Three.
Three. Well, you have the sales have always clashed, I think, over there.
Yeah. Technically they're clashing this year, but I've just got I'm only hit and run there for 2 days. I think I'm going to go to a cocktail party the night before, and then go there and be on the red eye back to Victoria, which I'm looking forward to. I love harness racing. If I want to be able to cover all of these. If the industry would get together and work out so people can get to all of these, it'd be outstanding, Dave.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
It would be indeed. Brad Steele says they're the richest trot race in Australasia. You've got to take a little bit of, a smile, Dave, when I say this. Luckily, you're not on camera, so you can, but it's not at a metropolitan track. I think that's one of the great things, and it's probably one of the things we undersell about harness racing. We need our metro tracks. Never going to argue with that. No one. I want to go back to Moonee Valley here in Victoria, but if you put your mind to it, there's anything you can do. Just because you're not a metro track doesn't mean you can't achieve something.
No, exactly. And obviously I'm a bit biased, but I did work at Alexandra Park for 4 or 5 years as well. So I feel like I can say this, but we've got the best viewing track in the country in terms of harness racing and for how close people can get. And that grass out the front just brings everyone so close. So when you've got the best horses and the opportunity to show them off, I mean, there's no better track to do it in my mind.
No, couldn't agree more. And anyone wanting to build a new trotting track, put grass out the front. Menangle, Miracle
100%.
Mile Night, the people on the grass, they love it. The grandstands are great, but put the grass there so people can get there. And, there's a couple of tracks that possibly should be listening to. You might have mentioned one there before, but if you have grass, people can sit down. They don't need those general admission tickets are worth their weight in gold because they can have their own party in their own spot.
Yeah, and kids can run around and all of that. So
I have another theory when you do it too. The drinkers enjoy drinking more. Have you ever noticed that? Like, especially if you've got a bar like Echuca Harness Racing Club. This is really left of field day for me, but their bar is basically on the grass, and I think that attracts people. It gives people instead of going to the sports bar up the front, you can go to a bar that's got racing, and you've got grass where you can either bring your kids and they can play, or you can go out and sit on it yourself and just enjoy a different environment. And that's one thing you guys have there as well. You take 2 steps down off your bar area and you're on the grass.
Yeah, and the parents can sit up there and kids can race the horses down the track and all that. So yeah, we're really lucky in that sense for sure.
No, absolutely. I think it's great, mate. I think you guys are doing an awesome job. Really appreciate you giving me a bit of time. I do look forward to catching up with you in a fortnight. But yeah, you said there before, tickets are selling fast. A lot of intrigue still to happen, which is going to be great. But congratulations. A couple of really big coups there. Hopefully, as I said, Leap to Fame is on that. But just getting the locomotive and also Don Hugo, I think adds enough intrigue straight away, Dave. But if Leap to Fame or Larry can be on that plane, mate, I think hats off to you. It's a major coup because he hasn't travelled outside of Australia yet.
Yeah. We've got everything crossed, that's for sure.
You don't want to send some bodyguards up there and just sort of do a bit of a presidential run, make sure he gets straight onto the plane.
Straight there. We'll have our spies out at the airport when he lands, maybe.
I'm sure you will.
Tracker.
You won't have any spies. You'll be there yourself if you've heard that he's on the plane. So yeah, he'll be fine. Dave, thank you very much for joining me, mate. I will talk to you before that, but good luck with everything's got going on. You've got a great meeting this Friday night. You've got a good meeting tomorrow. What time do they start tomorrow?
Great question.
Sorry.
Oh, that was rude.
Sorry. I'll tell you.
4:55.
Yep.
4:55. Yeah.
7 race card there on a Tuesday, and then Friday night lights on the Friday night. Massive meeting there with the Flying Miles. A lot of intrigue leading into the following week as well. David, thank you.
Awesome.
Really appreciate the time, mate, and congratulations on what's building as being one of the races of the year.
Awesome. Thank you, and we'll see you in less than a fortnight.
Yep, you will. All right, mate.
Awesome. Catch you later.
We have David Branch there joining me. Magic meeting coming up this weekend, next weekend. So, get involved in that forward-thinking club. Took the bull by the horns, if you like. And great to hear they've got the grandstand and a few other things getting done as well. So, Plenty happening there. And as I said, it's a provincial track. Brad's right there saying that. We've got Bathurst this weekend. Again, it is this weekend. I was trying to work that out there for a minute. Another great race meeting on a provincial track. If your club and your people behind the scenes are prepared to do it, you can build anything. So, great for harness racing. That's a tab there. Brecon Farms, of course, they won today as well. NZB Weanling sales. We will find the NZB ticker. It's there. I have a couple of others going on there. Of course, the Harness Millions were running. Well, they were millions. Going to get in trouble one way or the other for that one, but they were run and won at Auckland on Friday night. A couple of really good winners. Tune in to my New Zealand show to get a full comprehensive rundown. I interviewed Hayden Cullen and Regan Todd. That'll go up tomorrow morning. But Stella Rouge for Timmy Williams, Stephen Amanda Telfer was outstanding, beating Arafura and Wine Light. They were terrific. Without You was another great run there for Mark and Nathan Purden as well. So Better's Delight, Sweet Lou down by the seaside. So a trifecta to my friends at Woodlands. And then one of the horses, I'll tell you, this is a horse, if you have not had a chance to watch this horse, you need to be able to watch him. If you can't get there to watch him in person, he is the most exciting horse in harness racing at the minute. And I say that in all fairness because he can do anything. He may not be a Leap to Fame or a Don Hugo yet, but what he's able to do against his age group is outstanding. Gate speed, sits, speed, brilliant to watch, settles. Regan Todd, Craig Ferguson handling him beautifully. I'll talk about a horse called Marketplace by Better's Delight out of Cullen, who, he is scintillating, absolutely scintillating, and a great horse to watch. But Got the Chocolates. I feel for the Duns, Kevin Spicer and the Gordons who own him. He's a great horse. Got the Chocolates. And Better Anvil, another great run as well. Third there for Stonewall. Some really good runs. And unfortunately for him, couldn't quite get out. But as I said, tune into my New Zealand show tomorrow. Hayden Cullen on with Don't Stop Dreaming was phenomenal. Great to watch. Beating Mwanga. And then Little Spike, little horse I spoke about there before. Onwards and upwards for him as well. He was a rip and run for Crystal Hackett, Arnold Donnelly. So yeah, the speed was definitely on, but great race. But Don't Stop Dreaming, new stable, went terrific. And sportsmanship, what's his name? Mark Burton was one of the first people to congratulate Hayden Cullen. So, which is great to see. Of course, horse changed stables after his successful Victorian and New South Wales campaign as well. So going from there, don't forget, as I've got the guys from NZB on there, very, very effective there, Clouder, I reckon. So you've done a great job there. The Weanling sale will be on the 26th of June going forward. So don't forget that. And it's going to be a joint sale with the thoroughbreds in the morning, standardbreds in the afternoon. So if you want to go to a great sale, and it is a great sale, I get to go to a lot of sales. This is one of the best ones, not because you're going to see a $360,000 horse or a $274,000 horse, $75 horse. What you are going to see is some quality stock being presented. The winner of the last race, I'm on there too. Second last race actually, it was the Young Guns for the 2-year-old fillies. Angelic Copy was a Weanling sale graduate from 2 years ago for Macca Lodge. Debbie Green purchased that horse. I reckon be the only reason they would have sort of found that horse, Debbie Green, in that, by Better's Wish out of Dundinker's Angel. Angelic Copy is the horse I talk about, just loves finding the line. It's a Weanling sale graduate. It's now 3 from 3. Before I get into trouble for saying a mistake, yeah, it is 3 from 3. $30,000 in stakes. Don't think it costs $10,000 to purchase, presented by Macca Lodge at that sale. And I believe Macca is bringing some more horses up, so quality horses get sent through this sale. My Hard Copy that. Unfortunately, it wasn't NZB at the time, but that's the quality of horses you can get come out of that sale. NZB weren't in charge of it at that stage. They since have now as well, and some brilliant horses coming out of that sale. So make sure you make it all roads there. Go to Karaka, stay at the complex. It's a Thursday night. You can be heading home Friday, take a couple of days off. Just a great race meeting, great sales meeting at a great complex with some great people, and get to have some fun and a bit of intrigue this year with the Pacers as well. So go to nzbstandardbred.com, .co, nz.co.nz to view anything going related with the guys from NZB. Righto, sponsors time. Harasta Trotters, they're offering up 12 yearlings at the upcoming nutrient sales. Make sure you go to Yabby Dam Farms, click the link for horses for sale. I'll have to do it through this one. Give me a second. We'll do it this way so people know where to be able to find them. Go there. So go to yabbydamfarms.com. We'll flick over to this one here. Yearling sales, and then I have the drop down link thoroughbreds or standardbreds. Click on the standardbred section, come down here, and you have to click on the Melbourne link, and you'll be able to see the 12 horses that are being offered up. That doesn't make sense to me. 3, 6, 9, 10. There must be a couple missing. Hopefully I haven't done a mistake, but that is the there is 9 lots there being offered up. I hope I haven't done a boo-boo, but that's how I found it. So what I might do is just come back here for one sec, bear with me, because the other way you can actually see these horses is to go to right, upcoming sales, Melbourne, catalogue. Should be doing this. This is for the guys at Nutrient. We'll go across to there. So you go to your catalogue, hit the catalogue button, online catalogue. Preparers is the easiest way to get it, I find. If you know who's preparing them, just type in Yabby or Y and you'll see it comes up. Only other person with a Y and her name is Jamie Lee, and then when you click on it, there's your 12 horses there. So hopefully 225. Let's see if I was right. No. Oh yeah, there it is. Classic Connection. I'm a Bourbon Girl. So yeah, so there's just seems to be 2 not quite on there. So I'll get that message to the guys when I'm seeing them, but that's the easiest way. Go to nutrientstandardbred.com.au, go to the Melbourne portal, then go to Preparers, and you'll be able to see there 12 lots that they're preparing for the sale. And while I'm on that, we'll just go to an A and go to Aldebaran Park, who are preparing 14 of their own horses. They actually have 2 other horses going through the sale, so they've got 13 of their own. They've also got one in there for David Scott, but they have already preparing it. That is Xenia, on a streak. Xenia 326 is for David Scott, so that horse there. So that is their full draft, but they also do have in their care the 2 horses of Wyndham Park. I hate this when people go by different names. They don't appear to be there. Well, this is good TV, isn't it? When you do this, I'm getting off this so as I can find it myself all of a sudden, but not sure what's going on there. I know the gentleman's name, I just can't think of it at the minute. South Australian. Someone will be able to help me out at one stage. No, maybe those 2 horses are not in there. I did know they were preparing 2 of them, so anyway, we'll chase that one up a little bit later on. But yeah, they've got 14 horses of their own being prepared in the sale as well, so make sure you go from there. Of course, it's got RC Phoenix going around Yabby Dam Farms. I've got I'm Ready Jet stepping out as well from their friends at Woodlands. Always great supporters. They've had a massive week. Go and check some of the 2-year-olds out from the week gone by. We will be doing Woodlands winners, and I'm sure there's a few that we're going to be highlighting. But Jamal at Addington, and then what's his name? He was sensational, winning the Young Guns. Fugitive was absolutely outstanding, beating Andretti, a Bettor's Delight, and All-American Player, another Bettor's Delight horse bred by Brecken Farms. So yeah, 3 very, very impressive runs going in there. Andretti, you can buy I'm going to get myself into trouble. A half brother, I reckon he is, to him. Love the test. There it is, Huntsville. So yeah, so a half brother by Huntsville will be going around in the nutrient sales. He's a lovely horse. Been there and seen them. Yep, the Huntsvilles present beautifully, but yeah, that horse will be going there as well. Hello, Joe Pace. Hey, Mickey Flew, what's the best yearling you've seen live that's at the nutrient yearling sales? Michael, you can't ask me a question like that because I will get into too much trouble. To be brutally honest, Michael, I don't know. Haven't seen a big draft of them. Saw a handful of the Aldebaran Park. I will be seeing a lot more. Maybe give me a week and I'll see how I go. Not going to be accused of getting splinters, but yeah, saw some really nice horses. Couple of Captain Treacherouses. There's a Seaside, couple of Seasides actually that I was very taken by. So yeah, I'll just wait and see. Haven't seen enough of them. Going to go to Alabar maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, next week. So plenty there as well. So just hang on one sec, Mickey. I've got to look after you. The one thing I'll say about Mickey, and I don't need the earplugs in, but although I do because it does me head in when I can't hear myself, but of course the Burnie Harness Racing Club. But the one thing, I do have a very, very big head, and if anyone can see, I can't do it up. If I do it up, I'll show you. I'll do it up on the last hole. So physically you can see it's there on the last hole, and that don't fit. Oh, I suppose I could make it fit. Right. So that's it. I'm going to have a headache in 5 minutes, but that's the Burnie Harness Racing Club. So the guys in Tassie don't have very, very big heads. I'm not going any further than that. It was a great weekend of racing, though, Mickey, as well on the weekend. So 2 meetings, terrific to see. Great Saturday night racing, the only Group 1 harness race in Tassie, and it was a ripping race. And then also a great meeting at Launceston the following day. So, but that will go up in the wall. Got to redo the wall. I've got to do here. Any spare time I'll do there. I'll probably need to do something here to block off the window that's half open, but it's still a bit muggy here in central Victoria, so I'm happy to have a little bit of air going through. Brecon Farms, there of course, don't want that one. I've got one other one going, that one. Getting me across there for the Night of Champions, so looking forward to that with the team from Brecon Farms going there. So make sure you go to Brecon Farms. They actually train, they bred one they won't be aware of, the Gawler Trotting Cup winner today, as well as a few others over the weekend. A couple of slot holders, they'll be back for a bet and win going into the slot race as well. And then Barrostock, great supporters of Campbell's comments and helping out a couple of people I know just recently. So make sure you go to barrostock.com. I did this last week, I'll do it again this week because I can do that. People are still watching. If you are still watching, that's what you got. If there's any information, anything else you want to get out there, don't be scared to give me a yell. Go to Barrostock. I think it's this one. Just go to Barrostock. Yep, barrostock.com.au, and you can go down here, and it'll give you all updates, junior squads, and things like that. The hamburger on the side gives you all your products, so you can click on the products and should be able to show you all products. Hopefully it'll click over. Yep, and that'll give you all the products that they have, starting at Speedy Beat, Supreme, of course work with KER as well, so a lot of these products are there. Everything from show horses, breeding horses, competitive horses, you name it, they've got it. They're bringing new products out all the time, products like Prepare, Stablemate, Command, low energy feed, barley and molasses, Race and Win. We use Race and Win here as well. Low GI, yep, Synergy, then All Phase, plenty there as well. This one is a kicker. Kick on that, and they will get back to you straight away. You just click on the free diet analysis. As I said, we've got slow internet here tonight for some reason. There we are. And your details, go through there, fill it out, and then choose what discipline you have, go down to the bottom, hit next. Let's see what it does. Oh yeah, cool. If I you go through there, you can actually write, they'll ask you the rest of it. So it's not hairy-fairy, it's proper. Next, not sure what that did. Oh yeah, fill in your name and your email and go from there, and they'll get in touch with you. And people don't, some people probably don't want to do that, but that's what happens. You give your details, that's how they make their money. So they'll have people getting in touch with you. Done. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been a part of the show, watched, listened, tuned in. Anyway, going to be a massive meeting the Night of Champions for the team at Cambridge Raceway. Still some plenty of intrigue to play out yet as we go. Big couple of weeks of racing. Going to be at Bathurst on Sunday for the yearling sales for Nutrien. Standardbreds going forward. That's this Sunday, starts at 12 noon. 71 lots to go under the hammer. Go to nutrientstandardbred.com.au. You can get the online catalogues. Don't forget though, for Bathurst, huge meeting for those guys going forward as well this weekend with all their 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. I don't think they might be up now. We might just one more thing, I suppose, considering I had no audio at the start of the show. Some people no, the meetings are not done yet. A couple of the fields have been drawn because there was Calcutta's and that done, but yeah, no, a couple of these meetings haven't been drawn. Races haven't been drawn just yet. So going from there, so well done to the guys at Albion Park. Just looking then, they've got a 15-horse trotting championship as well. So doing good things up there in Queensland, and of course the home of the Inter-Dominion this year in June as well. So yep, plenty going on. Rightio, that'll do. Thank you very much everyone that's tuned in. Thanks to all my loyal supporters that tune in, week out. Really appreciate your time and contribution. We will be back next week as well. Next Monday night I will be doing it, all going well. Hopefully we're doing some yearling videos and then we can get back and do this and build up for the Melbourne. Can you have the hat free from the top on the left hand side please? Can I have the hat 3 from the top? Got to work out my on the left hand side, my left or your left, Paddy? That's if it's that one there, that's a Navajo Trailers. That's a Nutrien one, so it must be trying to work out which one he's got. 3 from the left on the top is going to be, just trying to work it out there. Where's the bench stud there? So that's a Confederate one, I think you can read. Or Alexandra Park, but no, Paddy, you can't. I need a Pat Burke one. That's what I do need. To your left, Alexandra Park. It must be that one there. So yeah, they're hard to get those ones. I had to go all the way to New Zealand. If I go to New Zealand and get another one, Paddy, you can have it. Joe Pace won't be happy with that, but I will try and get you one. So that'll be all good. Rightio, that's a wrap. Tonight's show. Tune in, as I said, next Monday night live. New Zealand show tomorrow with Paddy. I love you too, Paddy. I think Paul should wear them all. All the hats? No, I don't think so. There's a couch full of them here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. If you're going to talk hats. This one's one of my favourites. This one is. And it's for a good cause, but it is a ripper. And they don't make too many of them. But yeah, it's for Martin stock haulage. So it's about mental health and that, but probably doesn't do it justice. I probably need to, yeah, that's better. You can see the print on this hat. It's outstanding. So it is actually, it's a conversation starter. So you'll see a lot of these shirts around every Friday. They encourage tradies and the likes to take off their high vis and wear that. And it's about mental health and you know, helping people in the bush. And so it's a great cause. They've actually painted, so their trucks are the yellow. If I can get that the right way, I've never done, yeah, there you are. There's the trucks being the yellow. Their trucks are the big yellows. B triples, you'll see plenty of them. I don't know if they're called B triples. Someone will tell me off for that. Paddy will tell me off. But they've got one truck painted in this colour. They've also got a pink one for the pink for breast cancer in hot pink. So, Jesus, it's confusing. Pacing for pink, that one there. I'll have to take that hat down because that's coming up in a couple of weeks as well. So, no, got plenty of cool hats, that's for sure. Yeah, a bit ridiculous how many I've got. I should try and do something else one day. Hello, Michelle Hargroves. Hello to you. Right, guys. Thank you. That's going to do me now. You sidetracked me enough. I could stay on all night. We'll have to get some guests on again going forward, but it's just a little bit tricky. I've got that much going on at the minute. I don't get a chance to stop. But thank you very much for tuning in. That's not a sook either. Couldn't care. It's about selling the game. But yep, we will see you all next Monday night if I don't see you beforehand. Thank you.